Hi, I'm Effie and this is What Effie Reads. It's the end of the month, which means it's time for me to play my TBR game.
I was lost, but you helped me find my way. Tainted by a desire, 'cause I was scared to face the truth. You pulled me out from my anxiety.
For those that are new here, every month, or near enough every month, I play a game of Pokemon, and based on what Pokemon I encounter in the game, I will pick my books for the month. Every Pokemon type has a particular prompt assigned to it, and if a Pokemon happens to be a dual type, I either have to try and get a book that fits both of those prompts, or I have to add 2 books to my TBR. The first thing that I need to do today is to pick out a punishment book, as I didn't complete my TBR in February. As I haven't updated my catalogue of books recently, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick one of the prompts/books from my book pop, which aren't completed yet, but I have written them all out. So I'm going to take you through to the living room and pick that, and then I will come back and we'll get started on my TBR game. So as you can see, none of these are folded into stars yet, but as I said, they all have prompts on the reverse, and this one says, prompt, ask for a book on Discord and read the first owned book suggested. So I've popped a request on Discord and we will see what book comes out of that. I will probably come back later in the video when I have an answer to what book that will be. I'm just popping in quickly because I forgot to mention that the book that was picked for me via Discord, my punishment book, is A Marvelous Light by Freya Marsk. Before we get into the game, we need to run a random number generator to decide where in my game I will start counting my encounters for. So I played for an hour, so I need a number between 1 and 60. And I just needed to generate 1 result, and we've got 48. So if I get to the end of the video, I will just loop background and start again, although I am playing Pokémon Arceus. I'm not sure if that's how it's pronounced. This is my first time using this game for my TBR, so we'll see how well it works, because I know there's a lot of encountering the same Pokemon multiple times. But let's start at 48 minutes and let's see what the first Pokemon I encountered was. And straight into a battle. And it's a level 60 Alakazam that I'm facing. So the first Pokemon that I encountered was an Alakazam, and I think it's just a psychic type, but I'm just going to double check. Yes, an Alakazam is a psychic type. So for a psychic type, I need to go to YouTube, and the first booktuber that I come across, I either need to pick a book that they have recommended or I think that they would like. Oh, first up we have Spoops. I feel like Spoops is actually a really easy pick because I feel like I share a lot of books in common with Spoops. And actually I'm going to put I Hear the that's not words. I'm going to put I Hear the Sunspot, Theory of Happiness onto my TBR because it is her all-time favourite manga. And yeah, I think this is very much a spook's choice. So that is book 1. Now let's see what the second Pokemon I encountered was and what book I have to pick because of that. Just casually hiding in the grass, trying to catch a Pokemon. Don't mind me. So I feel like this is where the new game mechanics make it quite difficult for me to use a Pokemon playthrough as part of my TBR game, because I'm not really sure what I'm classing as encounters now. But for the sake of this game, and please feel free to pop in the comments any suggestions for how I use this game as part of my TBR game. So I'm going to say that an encounter is either me battling a Pokemon or me attempting to catch it, because in this game you don't need to battle a Pokemon to try to catch it. So the next Pokemon that I encountered, using that logic, is Onix, Steelix. I will double check, one moment. It was an Onix, and Onix is a rock ground type, so I'm just going to double check what the prompts associated with those are. So for a rock type, I need to pick a big book, and for a ground type, I need to pick a non-fiction. So I'm just going to pop over to my shelves over there and see if I've got any chunky non-fiction. So I had a look on my non-fiction shelves, and I would say that the majority of my non-fiction isn't particularly chunky, but I also was quite kind to myself in that I haven't actually defined what I mean by a big book. So I'm going to say that Kant and the Platypus by Umberto Eco is going to be my pick for this prompt, as it is over 400 pages long and it does look relatively chunky. So let's see what the next Pokemon I encountered was and what book I have to add as a result. Still just chilling in the grass, trying to catch Pokemon. So the next Pokemon they encountered was Ursaring, which is a normal type. And for a normal type, I just need to pick a book that is under 300 pages long. For this prompt, I am going to put The Girl from the Sea by Molly Knox Ostertag, as that is the Queer Picture Book Club pick for March. And according to Storygraph, it is 256 pages long, so perfect for this prompt. And now let's see what the fourth and hopefully final Pokemon they encountered was, and see what the last book I'm adding to at least my TBR from this will be. So I've looped back round, and what's that I've encountered? Looks like a Geodude. So the final Pokemon that I encountered was a Geodude. Was a Geodude, which I think is just a rock type, but I will double check. Turns out that it is a rock ground type, which means I've got to somehow find another chunky non-fiction. I'm not sure if such a thing actually exists on my shelves. I have plenty of non-fiction, but I'm not sure if I have chunky. I might have to put 2 books on for this one. I've decided to do a little bit of a stretch. Well, not necessarily a stretch, but make this prompt really kind to me. I've decided to pick 2 books for this prompt. So first up, yes, this is the Communist Manifesto. I don't know if this is an abbreviated version, but it is a book and I've got to believe it's non-fiction, and it is absolutely tiny. So that's going to be my non-fiction. And then for a chunky book, I've got Skip Beat volumes 1 to 3. I have no idea how chunky it actually is because I couldn't see any page numbers, but it looks quite chunky as far as manga goes. So I have got quite a strange TBR for the month. So I've got this, plus I've got The Girl from the Sea. I am also going to be participating in the Magical Readathon Gear Up. But I think what I'm going to do is just see what kind of books I'm feeling that week. There's only 2 more books that I kind of want to add on to my TBR for the month of March. The first one is Corrupt by Penelope Douglas. This is going to be my buddy read with Shannon over at Head in the Books. We've heard some interesting things about it, so I'm very intrigued to read it, and also it's going to be my first time trying Penelope Douglas, so I'm really interested to see what I think. And the second book I want to add on is The Invisible Life of Angela Rue by V. Schwab. As I've got tickets for an event for Gallant towards the end of March, so I just kind of want to finally read The Invisible Life before that, and hopefully annotate it as well. Let me know what you think of my choices for my TBR this month, and also let me know if you've got any suggestions of how my TBR game might work with the slightly different game mechanics of Pokémon Legends Arceus. Is that how it's said? I don't know. And until next time, bye!